Hey folks, well, as you can see, we have a pretty nasty pool on our hands. So how to determine when you're going to acid wash, drain and acid wash a pool or try to clean it up. Basically, when there's so much algae that you can't see to the bottom, in my opinion, it's just time to dump the water, because for the time and the hassle and the chemicals and the expense for you to go through, trying to clear it up, the end product is going to be, you're going to be swimming in chemical water. So I always just think, just drain it and acid wash it. And what I'm going to do is show you the proper way to acid wash a pool. Now, I've been doing this 30 years, just admit it. And I've seen some pretty crazy things on the internet, dangerous in my opinion. So I hope that I can show you a safe and a very good way to acid wash pools. So the first thing that I want to tell you is that what I do is I put in this stuff called plaster white and bright. It's an additive that helps the acid to, there's this fly on me, I'm sorry. It helps the acid to cling on the walls without etching it, so that it has a nice smooth run. And I use a watering can such as this, and I'm just going to put in a couple in like a tablespoon or two of the soap, and then a little bit of water. And I usually, the first pour that I do is usually half and half. So I put in a gallon of acid to a gallon of water. Now sometimes you may want it stronger, or you may want to keep it at that solution and then do 2 times around. So the first pour is, we'll just wait and see what we're going to do. So right now, while the pool is still draining, I'm going to start rinsing it, because you want to get off as much algae as possible off the walls. And also I'm going to brush a little bit to the pump, and we'll get going. And by the way, the pump, and I'll show you in a minute, it's a sump pump, and that's like the most logical way to drain a pool. Now, if you have a lot of debris on the bottom of your pool, you'll want to put it in the pump in like a bucket or something, and tie it to that, so that it doesn't clog the sump pump up. And then when you get down to the bottom, then you can scoop out more of the leaves and all that, and you can see better. So that's just, it doesn't apply in this situation. But if you have a bunch of debris and leaves and gunk on the bottom, then get a bucket and get an empty case of acid or chlorine, put the pump in there, and then drop that to the bottom of the pool. Tie it to it, of course. Put that to the bottom of the pool, and then it will drain to the level, the top of the pump, or the bucket, and then you can see better and then start scooping out the debris. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, one other thing that also makes it, when I set up an acid wash, if you notice, I will have the the gallons all around the pool, strategically placed, so that when I'm in the process, all I have to do is lean over and grab a couple gallons and just continue to work. I don't have to keep walking back and forth, okay, where like this whole pile of gallon of acid is. So that's all, just a little, another little tip. And if you're a homeowner doing this, do you notice that where it's mostly wet, or just draining into the bottom, where the algae is wet and fresh, it washes off so much easier. So if you're a homeowner, you can come out every couple hours and rinse it off instead of letting it wait. So I'm going to let this, I just wet this, and then I'm going to go in there and really, with the pressure, just really get off as much as I can. Okay, I'll be back. basically, you want the pumps to clean out as much of the green stuff as possible. So I'm just going to keep doing this. This just shows you a few little techniques on how to clean it up. Some of you see that I put 2 pumps in because it was just going too slow. And that's it. You just have to keep cleaning up, and then we'll start with the acid wash. Okay, so a few critical things before we start on this area. This is the steps or the bench, and anytime you have the bench or the step area, you always want to start with the bottom wall, because if you start at the top, then you're going to have the acid streaking down, and then when you rinse, you're going to rinse up there first, and this will have less amount of time with the acid. So you do the bottom wall or on the steps first, and then you start moving up. I don't know if it's going to cover the whole area, so I'm going to do it really fast and refill this. The other couple things, make sure your shoes are not black, because when you're in the pool, you don't want to make marks in there. And I already just wet down this area, so we're going to get started, okay? Okay. Hopefully you saw that well enough. I'm going to continue on the side. I'll try to get you some close-up shots of the acid doing its job. And when I get this finished, it's in Las Vegas, it's going to be 110 today. It's probably about 100 now, at least. So I'm going to just wet the next section and keep moving on, okay? With this slide. One thing you want to do, if you have an in-floor cleaning system that have these type of pop-up heads, this is the time where you want to blast those. Now the way to keep those clean, this isn't my client, by the way, so that would never happen, but the way to keep those clean when the pool's full is that when they are in the pop-up mode and they're up, you take a brush or your pole and hit it against where the jet is coming out, and it'll kind of back flush it and make all these leaves come out. And it's phenomenal how much stuff gets stuck in there, but you can prevent what just happened. Okay, so we're moving on. That's just a little tip. Now I'm probably going to hit that wall again, and because usually the south wall is has the most algae, and the calcium is obviously stuck over, made like a film over the algae. So the first dilution, and my final solution is 1 1/4 gallons of acid, and the rest filling up the bucket with water and the plaster white and bright. So anyway, I'm going to finish a little bit and get back. Last but not least, you want to get the bottom of the pool. Now it may not look that bad to you, but that side doesn't have to be done, but there's just a little bit of blue tint. So we're going to, the same principle that applies on this bench and steps, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up, and then that's it, and we'll be done. so now the last thing that we're going to do is get this little water out of here. And there's a couple ways to do it, but my preferred way is through a shop vac. And because when it fills up, I can't take the thing out myself. So I just add a couple extensions and plug it in, and there you go. The other thing is that I just was doing, because of the soap and the reaction to the calcium, there's a lot of foam that builds up. So get a little thing of spa or defoamer and put it in the puddle, and it will knock the foam out. As you can tell, the sun is getting to me, so I'm going to hurry and finish. So there you have it. I hope you learned something. Please be careful and be safe when dealing with muriatic acid. And come visit me on my website, and you'll get more tips. We'll be able to print out a PDF to give you step-by-step guidelines on how to do an acid wash. And many of them are very different, but hopefully this gives you the basic tools and understanding of how to properly do an acid wash without the streaks and being safe at the same time. Take care. See you next time.